If you are somebody who feels everything deeply and has been led to believe that your sensitivity is a weakness or an inconvenience, this video is for you. If you're new here, welcome or welcome back. My name is Ruby, and I am the middle child, the only girl, raised by Salvadorian parents who, let's just say, didn't really understand or know what emotional intelligence really was. So I wasn't really ever taught how to feel my emotions without being consumed by them or feeling like I'm drowning and losing myself in them. So, in this video, I'm going to share a 4-step process to help you feel and process your emotions without getting consumed or overwhelmed by them. That has got me out of panic attacks and depression and anxiety, and has helped many of my clients also navigate their internal world and emotional landscape with so much more ease. So, for a little bit of more context, I also grew up in a public school system that never really taught me emotional regulation. The most I was ever really exposed to was, I don't know if you experienced this or know what I'm talking about, but there were these, one of them was green and it was a smiley face. And then there was a yellow one, it was neutral. And then there was a red one that was like an angry face. The entire class had their names on clothespins. And depending on how you behaved or how the teacher felt that you behaved, then your pin would either stay in the happy one or go to the neutral one or to the angry one. And if you ask me, that's really not anything teaching you about how to actually process your emotions. And at home, I know that my parents were doing their best, but also carrying their own unspoken trauma from surviving war in El Salvador. And actually, my parents didn't get much schooling. My mom went to the 5th grade and my dad to the 2nd grade. In fact, my mom taught my dad to read. So, whatever it is that your circumstance is, there is a hope. Because, growing up in this kind of environment, I got really good at two things. And that was being the good girl to not ruffle any feathers, and also being deeply anxious and not knowing how to move and process that energy. By the time that I was in middle school and high school, and even when I graduated college, that's turned into a depression and full on severe panic attacks that then landed me in the US healthcare system that sadly also wasn't equipped or ready to teach me about how to process my emotions, and was very ready to prescribe me medication. So I hope that this video supports you in ways beyond your imagination, and that you're able to begin to navigate your inner world with more grace, and to know that you're not going to get consumed by the emotions, and that your emotions are simply energy in motion, and that the cure is curiosity. Maybe you are someone who asks yourself, like, why am I like this? What's wrong with me? And that's probably because the messages that you were told growing up or by the people you're currently surrounded with is don't be too much, or don't cry, just be grateful, or how about you just get over it? So you kind of just start to shove things down, and what you suppress, your body stores, and what you resist persists. So there's going to be a time where it's going to come to the surface. And if you simply apply this 4-step process, you will be able to realize that when you approach your sensations that come up in the body as emotions with curiosity, it doesn't last longer than 90 seconds to 3 minutes. There are studies that show this. So if no one told you this, just remember that emotions are literally energy in motion. and they are normal. They're signs to you through your body. This doesn't mean that you're broken or that you're too sensitive or that it's inconvenient. They're simply your body's way of telling you, like, hey, something happened and this mattered to me. Can you pay attention? And so when you start to approach them with this level of curiosity instead of judgment, everything will begin to change. So the process is simple. It is the exact process I use, process that I teach to my clients and students to actually feel your feelings without getting stuck in them or spiraling. And it can be done in 4 simple steps. And that is through noticing, naming, nurturing, and moving. You can use this in the middle of an anxiety spiral, after a hard conversation, or on a random day where you just feel off. So, step one is to notice. This is where most people were never really trained. And this requires you to be able to slow down, to pause. And this is going to go against everything you were taught, which is to override, to push through, and to be productive. So, this is the first skill. If you can just notice what's happening in your body right now, you can ask yourself this question. When you're feeling anxious, where is it in your body? Is it in your chest? Is it in your stomach? Is it a tightness? Is it a cool feeling? If it's anger, where do you feel it? Maybe it's heat in your face, and just know that you don't have to fix it yet. You just simply become a sort of scientist observing, and you can literally say to yourself, okay, I'm noticing my chest feels tight, my breath feels shallow, maybe my jaw is clenched, and that's it. There's not a story about who caused this, what caused this. It's just simply information. The clear distinction in this first step is to notice the sensations, not the stories. Step two is name. Once you've started to notice the sensations, ask yourself, what might this feeling be called? Maybe you've seen an emotions wheel or a feelings wheel. I highly recommend that you find one. You can Google it and take a screenshot and keep it in your photos. And I love using this practice to be able to expand and get even more specific to what it is that I am feeling. This is where my inner middle school Ruby, who never got showed this emotions, had to learn new words. Like most people, if you ask them, are just like, oh, I'm good, oh, I'm bad, oh, I'm sad, oh, I'm mad. When sometimes it's obvious, like, I feel scared. Sometimes it's layered. I feel disappointed and frustrated. And it's super helpful, especially if you're like, I don't even know what I feel. So start with something like, I feel pressure. I feel excited. And the important thing in being able to name what you feel is it creates separation for you. So rather than saying, oh, I'm just an anxious person, oh, I am sad, because you are declaring you are this person. No, you are you, and you're experiencing a feeling, an emotion, something that's going to pass through if you simply allow it to. And so naming sets you free. It actually puts like a gentle, like a container around the experience, and your nervous system gets to expand from this because you get to pinpoint what it is that you're experiencing, not feel fully consumed or identified by it. And this is how you begin to experience that feeling that many desire, which is feeling seen and like you're not alone in this. So remember that naming it neutralizes the shame and the story as well. Step number three, this is the step I never saw growing up. So once I've noticed and named a feeling, I ask myself, what does this part of me need right now? Not how do I make this go away, but if this feeling was a child or the little girl sitting next to me, what would I say to her? And so for me, nurturing can look like putting a hand on my heart and taking three slow, deep breaths. In fact, actually, why don't you join me in taking a deep breath? Exhale any air out of your lungs, and then take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it, and then exhale out your mouth. That simple practice has saved me more times than I can tell you because tuning into your breath and changing the quality of your breath is one of the most life changing and life saving things that you can do. Because most of the time, people are shallow breathing, breathing from their chest up. And this signals to your nervous system that you are in a fight or flight and you need to figure out what to do. But when you begin to slow down and extend your exhale, this signals to your body that it is safe and it can begin to relax. Once you've taken a breath or a nurturing step, you can affirm and say to yourself, of course, I feel anxious. This is a lot. Or, of course, I feel uncertain. There's so many things that are changing. You can also give yourself permission to cry without rushing yourself, trying to figure out a solution. And this is how you begin to reparent yourself. That little child, the middle school aged you, the high school aged you, those are all parts of you that are still present and sometimes tend to run the show when not properly taken care of. I know that the middle child Salvadorian daughter part of me that learned to be strong and to be quiet and figure it out finally gets to hear you are allowed to feel and nothing is wrong with you. And you are so brave for actually feeling what is present for you instead of just numbing or rushing. So remember, step three, nurturing is your opportunity to reparent yourself. And last but certainly not least, step four is to move, remembering that your emotions are energy in motion. And this is actually one of the first tools and practices that really helped me begin to move this kind of energy. I always share with my clients and students how movement was the one form of expression that nobody was really able to take away from me because as long as I have my body and I'm able to move, I'm able to channel this energy into a more productive way as well as, I didn't have the words to be able to articulate or even a safe place to do so. And finding ways in which you can move this energy is going to be so beneficial. So, if you're only thinking about your emotions, this is how they get stuck in your head. But when you let them complete the cycle in your body by moving, they can actually move through you. So, after you've nurtured, you can ask yourself, how can I give this feeling a safe way to move? That might look like shaking your arms for 30 seconds, going for a 5 to 10 minute walk, or putting on your favorite song and letting your body move however it wants. Another way can be journaling out the story that is looping, and the goal isn't to become a robot who never really feels, because one thing that I've learned, it's like the more you allow yourself to feel the uncomfortable or heavy emotions is equivalent to how much joy and lightness that you are able to feel. So they go hand in hand. And in fact, you may notice, like, if you tune into what anxiety feels like in your body and what excitement feels like in your body, they're often very similar sensations. So being able to know the distinctions and know that each one is okay and each one is going to pass is such a powerful tool to have. It's yeah, it lets you ride the waves without abandoning yourself. So move the energy. If you grew up like me, whether you're a middle child, only girl, first or second generation in systems that never taught you about emotions, you, my friend, are not alone. You are not broken. You simply were under resourced. You weren't taught. And your sensitivity, your creativity, and your big heart, those are your superpowers. And once you know how to work with this energy and with your emotional landscape, the more that you can share your gifts and magic with the world. So the next time you feel anxious or sad or anger rising, try it. Notice, name, nurture, and move. And you don't have to nail it perfectly every time. Just know that you are building a new language that your body didn't get to learn. So I hope you try this. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to acknowledge you for investing the time in yourself and in your growth, in your evolution, and for the courage that it takes to try on new practices. If this video resonated with you, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more content like this. I would love to hear in the comments below which of the steps that you will begin to practice and try on first, which one you think will be the easiest, and maybe which one might find a little bit challenging. And if you want to go deeper into reconnecting with your body and your nervous system, make sure that you check out the links in the description. You can reach out to me and stay tuned for other videos on emotional regulation, mindfulness, and self trust. I love you so, so much.